the woman accidentally saw her husband and mother-in-law sneaking into the bedroom, and heard the sound of the door locking. Not realizing the severity of the situation, she calmly opened the bedroom's surveillance feed. She only wanted to listen in to see if her husband would stand up for her, and criticize his mother for hitting her. Half an hour earlier, she had tried to surprise her husband by jokingly telling her mother-in-law that she had been fired from her job, even though she had actually received a $5 million bonus from her company. But her mother-in-law immediately turned cold, scolding her for not having the money for the new house. Before the woman could explain, she was slapped across the face. The woman never expected her mother-in-law, who had always been kind to her, to hit her, especially when she was pregnant. At that moment, she decided to take action. She quietly slipped the 5 million yuan card into her pocket. Little did she know, as she watched the surveillance footage later, she would be glad she had done so. When her husband returned home and heard his mother say his wife had been fired, his first reaction wasn't to rush to his pregnant wife's side, but to show the same disbelief as his mother. Meanwhile, her mother-in-law was still berating her, saying that once a woman loses her job, she's nothing but a parasite. Furious, the woman struggled to stand up, telling her husband that before they married, he couldn't even afford rent, and the house was actually her parents' inheritance. If anyone should be called a parasite, it was him who should leave. Hearing this, her husband panicked, and quickly stepped in to comfort her, which seemed to calm her down for the moment. But no sooner had he left, than the woman saw him and her mother-in-law sneak into the bedroom again. What they didn't know was that the woman had installed hidden cameras in the bedroom, for the safety of her baby. She put on her headphones to listen to the footage, and was shocked by what she heard. Her husband had another family outside. All those late nights he came home with excuses about work. She now realized it was a lie. She also remembered how he would let her look at his phone to calm her down, only to call her crazy when she tried to take it. But now, on the surveillance footage, she heard the name of his illegitimate child. Her husband had been hiding a mistress, and they even had a child together. When she heard the name of the mistress, Amy, she immediately remembered the woman who had visited them a while ago, whom her mother-in-law had introduced as her niece. At that time, she had believed her wicked mother-in-law, but now she realized that the woman, Amy, wasn't the husband's cousin at all. She was his mistress, and her mother-in-law was fully involved. Her mother-in-law even complained that the woman had taken so many abortion pills, but still wasn't showing signs of pregnancy. The woman couldn't believe how evil her mother-in-law had been. Not only had they treated her as a tool for making money, but every day they forced her to drink miscarriage medicine. Her husband, meanwhile, was trying to squeeze out the last bit of value from her, planning to get her to sell their pre-marriage house. He wanted to use the money to buy a bigger house, so he could kick her out and live openly with his other woman. Little did they know, the woman had already uncovered their secret, and they would soon pay for their actions.